The 76ers acquired Jalen McDaniels from the Charlotte Hornets in this 3-team deal. The Portland Trailblazers are getting Matisse Thybulle, and the Charlotte Hornets are getting multiple second-round picks. Who do you like this for, DuFour?
Well, I mean, I like it a lot for Portland, and I like it a lot for Philly, and I don't really like it as much for Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte is a rebuilding team. A guy like Jalen McDaniels is a sort of guy that those teams should covet. He's a young wing, and I understand that he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. He's probably unlikely to come back, all right? And it sucks for Charlotte that they couldn't work this out ahead of time because he's a young, long defensive wing, and those guys, they stay in the league for a really long time. Love it for Philly because it gives them more length. It's something that they've been lacking. It also means maybe they don't have to lean on PJ Tucker so much for heavy minutes because he's been kind of a zero for them. So big pickup. He's a better offensive player in my mind than Matisse. So he doesn't limit them in the offensive sense. And then with Matisse going to Portland, kind of fills a little bit of that defensive role that they've been lacking. We talked when we discussed the Josh Hart deal that they could really use a lengthy wing defender. Well, Matisse kind of fills that role. He's going to take shots when he's open. You're going to stash him in the corner on offense, and he's going to hurt you there. But they've got Dame Lillard and Anthony Simons, so he sort of can slide in and take on some of that defensive load that they don't take on.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I do like this for Philly. I think getting a 6'9" forward, like this is what everybody's looking for. He's not the best 3-point shooter, but he's willing. No. He takes about 4 a game. He's only hit about 32%, but he is a career 34% from 3. A little below league average, but like good enough. Good rebounder, and somebody that I think can genuinely help off the bench for this team, where it felt like Matisse Thybulle was so in and out. They're so hot and cold on him that I think it's better to get a willing shooter in there. And these are going to be the most high quality shots that Jalen McDaniels has ever gotten.
That's a good point. Yeah, see, it's hard to judge a guy like Jalen McDaniels when you look at the situation that he's been in. He's played with LaMelo Ball, who is extremely gifted, but also young. Young point guard. Terry Rozier, not exactly known for being a rising tide as a point guard. He's had to pick his spots and kind of choose. And like you mentioned, shot quality has probably not been good for him. He's going to be shooting wide open looks. He could shoot 38% for the rest of the season. He's a good enough shooter. The stroke is there, and he's going to be wide open. So, expect that guy to just start sticking shots from the corner.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at percentages, like Matisse has shot a little bit better, but he doesn't take him. He doesn't take enough for it to matter, and no one's going to guard him.
Limits your offense.
Yeah. So I really do like that for the Sixers. Matisse, he gets a change of situation. Is this enough to help the Blazers? I feel like it's almost like a little bit too much pressure on a guy like Matisse Thybulle to go to the Blazers and be like, okay, fix this for us, fix the defense for us, and it's like, sorry, man, like it feels like a little bit too little, too late. Like the Blazers could still make a run, sure, but this season has not been what I think Dame signed up for. And I know that Chris Haynes has reported that he's going to stay. Sure, we know.
Get those reports every year at the trade deadline.
But it's still disappointing. Like this has been a disappointing year for the Blazers, and I'm not sure Matisse Thybulle is quite enough. Maybe they do something else later today, but if this is what they do, I'm not necessarily sure that I even like the move of getting a first rounder and Matisse essentially for Josh Hart and whatever the seconds you had to send out. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not sure that I really like that exchange.
Yeah, if that's your big free agent or your big trade deadline acquisition, I don't think you made a big trade deadline acquisition. He's a fine player for the back end of your 8 or 9 man rotation. He can be a guy that you can bring out in zone defensive situations, but he's not a shutdown guy. So, I think his defensive resume is a bit overblown. It's more of a LinkedIn than it is a paper resume, if that makes sense. Yeah. He's very good at, they jazz it up, make it sound like, he's spearheading a lot of projects, but really, no. The guy's a really good help defender. But Jeremy Grant's still going to have to take on the heavy load of guarding the other team's best wing. You can put Matisse on smaller guards and he can give him trouble, but he's just not the guy who can go out and just shut a guy down. So, out west where you got to go against Jamal Murray and Steph Curry and, those sorts of guys, good luck. Matisse is not that guy, but he is going to bolster the defense quite a bit.
Yeah. So the picks reported by Kyle Neubeck are a 2029 second round pick from Portland, a 2024 second rounder from the New York Knicks are going to go to Charlotte. That's fine. That's a fine deal. You get multiple seconds for a guy that's likely to walk. That's probably good business for Charlotte. It's not enthusing. They also get Svi Mihailuk in this deal, who was sent to Portland, and now he's being rerouted to Charlotte. Just a shooter and likely just a guy to help the cap machinations here. Anything else, Dave DuFour, on this trade that has you interested?
No, I mean, again, Jalen McDaniels, good young players, going to be an unrestricted free agent. I want to see, going into the summer. This gives Philly his bird rights. Let's see what they're going to do with that. I mean, he could be a good young piece to put into this young-ish team. I mean, Joel Embiid is not an old man. Tyrese Maxey's pretty young. I mean, this could be what this team looks like for the next few years if it pans out.